Welcome to this quick tour of the LAB web application. This video will introduce you to the LAB web application. It is designed to help you administrate your research project, collect data and keep track of your appointments. We'll talk about the four major parts of the application and how you use them to get things done. But first, let's take a look at the four parts, what they are and how they relate to each other. Although there isn't a strict workflow, all projects start in the ethics section. This is where you create new projects and get ethics approval. Most people will then move on to the recruitment section to configure their project for gathering participants and post their project online. If you need a lab for conducting your experiment, you will also use the booking section. This part of the application allows you to make lab reservations and keep track of your appointments with participants, all nicely organized in agendas. Finally, if you posted your project online in recruitment, the participants will be able to browse the open projects in the publicly accessible lab section and register for participation. We just saw that the application has four major parts you can access via the application menu on the left side of the main menu bar. Currently you are in the ethics section, where all projects start. A project is also the first thing you will need. How to create one is explained in the Getting Started section on the info page, where you can find this video as well if you ever want to watch it again. Once created, you find your projects in a neat list on the My Projects page. The ethics section is used for getting ethics approval, something all projects require. The ethics procedure differs for each department and is explained in the intro page of each project. Essentially, they are sets of questions you answer and submit to the Ethics Review Board for approval. A project also has a history and collaborators page. The history page shows all the major project events in time and is a way to communicate with the Ethics Review Board, colleagues or other stakeholders. The collaborators page allows you to give others access to your project and select the kind of notifications you would like to receive. Now from here you can move on to the recruitment section for getting participants, or to the booking section to reserve a lab. Let's look at the recruitment section first. As you can see, the project is seamlessly carried over to this part of the application. It shows a number of properties grouped together and pages. All properties have to do with promoting your project and recruiting participants, online or in the lab. Also notice that the collaborators and history page are found here as well, just as an info page for detailed help. Pay special attention to the meaning of online. A lab project can be displayed online in the lab section, the public part of the application where the participants can browse projects and register for participation. In order for your project to be published online in the lab section, you'll need approval from the subject coordinator. But a project can also be an online questionnaire with no lab involved. So there is a clear distinction between a lab project and a project with an online questionnaire, both of which can be displayed online in the lab section or not. This distinction is also reflected in the property settings. Some settings pertain to an online questionnaire and others to when and how your project is displayed in the lab section. For instance, some properties even change based on these settings. See how the property pages change while I change the online project setting to true. You will also note the brief banner in the top left corner, signifying that the change is automatically saved. Lastly, there is also a participations page where all appointments with participants are listed. But before you have any of those, you need a lab where you run your experiment. So let's take a look at how you get one. In order to use a lab, you need an option period from a lab coordinator. A lab coordinator assigns an option period to you alone or multiple researchers. Within this option period, you have the opportunity to set lab hours. In the lab hours, you are available for appointments with participants in the lab. Finally, depending on your project settings, you or the participant can make appointments within the lab hours. No other researcher is able to make an appointment on the same time for the same lab. To get your option period, you find the responsible lab coordinator in the list and send a request. Once you obtained one, you can move on to the booking section to specify your lab hours. The booking section shows a timeline in the middle, and on the right are the agendas. The agendas are like presets of which projects or labs you want to see on the timeline. You can look at time events, like lab hours or appointments, from a project or lab perspective. Projects are displayed in blue and show what time events there are for a particular project, while lab events are in yellow. An option period is displayed in a light grey-blue color. To specify your lab hours, just click on the option period. Then, to create an appointment in one of your lab hours, simply click in one. Once everything is set and published, your project will be accessible for participants in the lab section. This concludes our quick tour of the lab web application. For more detailed help, check out the info pages in each section or the context help with or near each action. Thank you for watching.